Hi, my name's Christy, and we're from Heroes and Adventurers, and I'm here to show you how to use Roll20 to play Dungeons & Dragons online. So Roll20 is a really awesome website to use. It's got lots of different features. As you can see here, I play all kinds of games online, but real quick, I'm going to show you, if you were making your own game, how easy it is to do. So all you need to do is quite obviously click the Create New Game here. Fill in all your little details here, and if you look here, it has a lot of different character sheets already made up for you, so you don't have to make your own. Although, if you were particularly savvy, you could do so anyways. So, the most common ones are these ones up at the top here. You've got your Pathfinder, you've got your 5e, you've got Call of Cthulhu. And if you're looking for something in particular, like maybe I'm looking for Starfinder, I could just start to type it in and it'll bring it up for me. And I could just go click. It'll show you a preview here, so you can make sure it's what you're looking for. And if you're happy with that, you scroll all the way down to the bottom and click I'm ready, create game. However, I've already made a game for us to take a peek at here. It's our lovely Heroes and Adventurers game right here. So I'm going to run through some of the features of Roll20 that you can use when you're running a game, or if you're also a player in the game. So first off, there are two different things that you'll see depending on whether you're a player or a game leader. So I'm going to have two tabs open here that I can hop back and forth between, so I can show you the difference between the two. Right now we're logged in as the game leader, so we can see everything that's going on. We have access to a lot of extra stuff, and we can even move things to different layers so that players can't see it. So right now I've just got a lovely little desert map here, and I've got a token as well. So you can use tokens when you're the game leader for your players to move around on the map as if you had a board in front of you. I find that it helps make things really engaging, and you can make it so that the players can move it around themselves. So you do that by in here you select who it is controlled by. So right now there's just two people. There's the game leader, Minus, and then there's another player that's also secretly me, so that I could show you. So if I click this here, now Christy can control this game token. Nobody else can, so she would be the only one, other than the game master, that can move it around on the board. Alright, but if you have things that you don't want people to see right now, so I'm going to show you here that right now, both people are looking at the same thing. We've got the token on the board, but maybe this is a secret ambush, and I'm going to move it to the game master level. Now, if I hop over here, oh, it's disappeared, so that they can't see it, and maybe they're moving their tokens around, and they're gonna slide right up, and then you can pop it up right where they're going to see it, back to the token layer. Kabam! Just like that. As well, you can make character sheets for people to look at. You just go over to the journal here that looks like a folded newspaper. You click Add Character. And you can do all the customization. You can give it a name if you know what they're going to name it. You can say who has access to it. So if it's a communal player, maybe everybody's going to have access to it. Or if it's just one person's character sheet, then they're the only one that should see it. So you click them. You have to put it in both players' journal and that it can be edited and controlled by them. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to do much with it. Hit Save Changes and head on over to the character sheet. And where I'm looking at 5e right now, it's asking what I want to do. I'm just going to edit the sheet directly to show you what you can do with this. So if they've already started creating their character, you can pretty easily fill in all the stuff here. So maybe you already know, like they've got 16 strength, they've got 15 dexterity, and so on and so forth. And if you'll notice, if you'll pay attention to the arcana down here, when I change their intelligence to an 18, the number goes up. So it automatically calculates the corresponding value that goes with the stat. And then if I check this off again, where I've marked that it's a proficient ability, it also calculates that in. Making it really simple to make these character sheets. You can cut out a lot of the math. So, if I have everything all ready to go here in my character sheet, I'm gonna hop over to this one here where I've already started doing some stuff. It's really, really easy to roll stuff. So if my character wants to attack using their longsword, all I have to do is click the longsword, and it'll automatically roll it for me. And if you hover over it, you can see where the numbers are coming from. So I can see that I got a 9 to attack, which, quite frankly, isn't very good. That's okay. And I can see that I get a +3 and a +2 from somewhere else. Presumably from my level or some other statistics that I've got in here, like my strength. And then this also automatically calculates, oh, I see, a second attack. So I guess I was doing 2 attacks here, and I was much more successful with my second attack. And to calculate my damage, we can also do it this way, with an advanced dice roller. So what you do is you just click the dice over at the side here. It gives you a lot of the commonly used things, but you can also click the advanced dice roller to make your own custom option. So I can see here that my damage is a 1d8, so I'm going to click the drop down menu to get to the d8, plus my strength, which is a 3. So I'm going to click here up to 3, and I click roll. It rolls it for me and does the math. So if I have a lot of dice, it's going to make it really easy because it'll add up. Say if I had like 10d6, it'll show me what the value of each of the d6s is, but then it'll also add it up for me, so I don't have to sit here going, okay, 6 plus 3 plus another 4 plus 2 plus 2, so on and so forth, which is great. And Roll20 also has a lot of awesome free features. So this is my library here, but say if I'm looking for a token for somebody and they're playing an elf, I could search right over here, elf, and it'll search up a lot of premium things. So at the top here, these are the premium assets. This is the stuff you have to pay for because Roll20 does have a paid version of it. But quite frankly, I don't think it's necessary. We have all kinds of free assets. And you know what? If you see stuff here that you don't like, you can make your own tokens. What I like to do is I'll find an image that I like on the internet, save it to my desktop, and then I drag and drop it onto the computer, and that's where a lot of these cool things come from. Because all you have to do is you just drag it over onto the board, and oh, that is on my game leader layer. Once it's dragged onto the board, you can resize it to be as big or small as you need it to be. You can do stuff like add auras. So auras make it a lot easier to see if the thing is the same color as the background. So now I've got a nice bright red aura around this, and I'll never be able to lose it. As well, you can also find maps and stuff like that. So if I need to make a new map, I click this little page toolbar at the top of the screen to drop it down. I can make a new page here. I can change the size of it if I want. So maybe I need it to be a little bit bigger than this. I can go into my settings and I can just change the width and the height. Maybe I need it to be 35 wide. And I just click apply and it'll do it automatically. Then I can just drag and drop something like a map on here and resize it to however big I need it. We'll say like that. That's good there. And then, however, if I am going to be putting tokens on here, I'm going to be accidentally grabbing this and maybe shuffling it around. So we want to move anything that's a map to the map layer just so I don't get confused while I'm moving stuff around. So let's see. There's a lot of other features here on the side as well. So you can see this is, of course, our cursor. It's what we can use to point. If we click and hold, it does a ping. So if you're talking to one of your players and you're like, I would like you to look at something over at this part of the map. Obviously, they can't see where you're pointing. So instead, if you click and hold, it'll create a ping, an expanding circle that'll spread out from where you're pointing. And they just have to look for the edge of the circle, and they'll get an idea of where you're pointing. Our next option here lets us switch between the different layers. There's 3 different layers. There's the map and background, objects and tokens, and the GM info overlay. So if you're not the GM, you can't see what's on the overlay. I could put whatever I want here. I could start writing stuff, so maybe I want to know, like, okay, there's going to be traps over here. I could write traps, and none of my players are going to be able to see it. As well, if I hop over to my player view for a moment, they're still looking at the walrus and Buddy with the sword, because I didn't move them over here. So I could have all kinds of different extra maps, and they're not going to see it unless I take this player bookmark and I drop it over where I want them to look at. Like so. And as you can see, you cannot see where I wrote traps right here. If I zoom right in, we can obviously see it on my screen. Right there. But they can't see it, so they wouldn't know that they're walking into a trap there. Which brings us to a next option here, which is the drawing option. You can use this to draw shapes like a rectangle or a circle. You can draw your own freehand, like I used to draw the right traps there. You could do polygons and lines. You could put text. So I mean, I could have just written traps using the text, but I like to get a little bit freehand with that. And you can also just clear off all of your drawings here so that you don't need to see it. Let's see. Oh, that's because I am on the wrong layer to delete those. You have to make sure you're on the right layer when you're trying to do stuff, or else it's just not going to work. So if something's not working right, check what layer you're on. You might be on the GM layer when you need to be on the token layer. So this here is just our zooming if you want to zoom in and out, but you can also use this at the side here to kind of customize it a little bit more. Our next option here is one of the most useful ones I find, especially when you're doing combat. It's a ruler. You click wherever you want to start measuring from, and you drag it, and it'll tell you how many feet away or squares things are. So if you're trying to figure out the range of a spell or an ability, you can click and drag and move this around, and it'll tell you. It's 5 feet, it's 10 feet, it's 15 feet, and you'll see if it's within range or not. If you don't want people to see, however, you can also click to hide it, and then you are the only one that can see that you have the ruler, which is really handy if you're being a DM and you're trying to figure out the range of your creatures in between turns, and you don't want them to know that they're going to be getting caught up in some kind of explosion. Alright, next here is something that the players won't have. So if you'll have a look here, the players have that they can draw, they can zoom, they have the ruler. They obviously can't switch between the layers, and they can't do this either. So this is something that's called the fog of war. If I turn this on, my screen just goes a little bit dim, but their screen goes completely black, and they can no longer see anything that's going on until I reveal a small square. And that's all that they can see. So this is really useful if you want to keep a big map secret and they don't know where anything is. You can reveal it bit by bit as they're going along. Alright, so this is just something I don't frequently use, turn order. If you wanted to use it, I do encourage you to explore it, but I haven't found that it's all that useful. And then, of course, we've got our dice roller. There's our basic dice roller and our advanced dice roller, which is very, very useful. So that's a basic rundown of Roll20. There is also a mobile app of it, but I've found that it's very limiting with regards to playability. It doesn't have a lot of the same features that the desktop version of Roll20 has, and it's very difficult for players to use, so I really don't recommend it. Alright, thank you for watching my little how to use Roll20 to play Dungeons & Dragons. I hope to see you all soon, and take care. Bye.